Hello and welcome to the USL W League Show. I'm Kelsey Steele, here to take you through a bit of history today as the United Soccer League launches the USL W League. Over the course of the day, we'll be unveiling the founding members of the USL W League and be joined for a chat with the counterparts leading the charge for each club. Before we reveal the first founding member of the USL W League, let's hear a little bit more about the league and what we can expect in the coming years. To get more on that, let's bring in the USL's Betsy Hall. What an exciting day for the United Soccer League. And I can't think of a better way to get today's show started off than speaking with Betsy Hall, Director, Operations, Women's Soccer. Betsy, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Thanks, Kelsey. It's an exciting day, and I'm really excited to talk with you.
You just recently joined the USL, filling this role to kind of lead the charge for the women's soccer initiative. Why is there a need now for a pre-professional space in women's soccer?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's really a variety of factors that make this a really exciting time for USL to re-enter the women's game. And some of those are internal and some of those are external. So for us at USL, even before I came on board, this has been something that our team has been working on for really almost 2 years, thinking about re-entering the women's space and all the gender equity that comes with how is the right thing to do and something that's needed to do in order to advance the women's game, but also just soccer as a whole in North America and in the Western Hemisphere. So internally, our team's been working on this for a while, and that gets paired with repeated requests from our teams throughout our USL ecosystem nationwide about being in the women's space and how they can get involved with USL in the women's game. Everybody also knows that it's just a very exciting time for women's sports in general, and women's soccer certainly is no exception to that. There's been increased professionalism, increased media attention, and really just increased fandom directed towards the women's game lately. So for those reasons, it's really exciting for us to re-enter the women's game and really enhance this pipeline for women's soccer, all the way from youth up to professional, and the role that we'll play in filling that gap between college and pro.
You've been a part of rebuilding this league from the ground up, from mission statement, pillars, all of the above. And I want to kind of reiterate the mission statement so everyone here today knows what the W League's initiatives are and what they, the change that they want to make in the community. And the USL W League strives to use women's soccer as a force for societal good, creating a national platform to increase opportunity, gender equity, and career development, which from the outside, that's a lot for a sports league to accomplish, Betsy. What do you think will be the impact in having and creating opportunities for women who are looking to pursue playing careers in soccer?
Yeah, it's ambitious, but it's meaningful and it's important. And we're very excited by the impact that this league will have in really addressing those. We call them the 3 pillars of that mission statement. So you mentioned, of course, opportunity, gender equity, and career development. For us, we look at this league as a great way to provide more opportunities for women to play soccer, but also to work in soccer, to be a referee, to be a broadcaster, to be a front office executive. And then, of course, for our fans, to be a fan of women's soccer and have an elite women's team, hopefully right in your backyard or very close to it. So for us, that opportunity is really a driving force behind what we want to do. And that goes hand in hand with gender equity and how we can work to grow the women's game and provide more opportunities, as I said, for women.
But I think what's really cool when you talk about these pillars and in the mission statement is this league is going to be bigger than everything that you guys are doing on the pitch. And I think that makes this really special. And, we're going to hear from a lot of owners and chairmen today who are echoing that. But from your point of view, what role do you think the league is going to have in providing opportunities for women, whether it's in the office, outside of the pitch, whatever that may be?
Yeah, I mean, that I think is something that's so exciting. You and I are living examples of what it's like to be a woman working in soccer. And we've got so many other great female executives throughout USL HQ, the USL ecosystem at our club level. And that's one of the pieces that's so exciting because we know that every young girl that kicks a soccer ball around dreams of going professional at some point. And that's not always the reality. That's few and far between there. And for us to be able to provide these opportunities for women to work in the game, whether that's the women's game or the men's game, just working with the sport that they love, that's so exciting for us to see these success stories and follow women on their journeys. And for the W League to play even a small role in that for people, it'll be really exciting for us to follow that over the coming years.
Another part of one of those pillars you're talking on is the gender equity piece. And again, we are going to hear so much about that today. But from the W League standpoint and from your role, how is that kind of a driver for a lot of the decisions that you're making?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about our mission statement and how gender equity is a core component of that, that's not something that's going to hang on the wall and we'll dust it off once a year when we do spring cleaning. That's something that is really the driving force behind our strategy on and off the field. And where gender equity comes into play for that is just keeping that top of mind with every decision that we make. So when we look at something that we want to accomplish with this league, if it's a policy that we want to implement, or if it's a strategy that we want to develop, or an initiative that we want to do, first and foremost, we think about how that contributes to gender equity and how that will help women on their pathway in soccer and in their career.
You talk about that pathway. That pathway often starts as a fan, as a young girl aspiring to, whether it's working towards or play professionally. What do you anticipate from the fans in this sport? How important is it to really activate them from day one?
Yeah, we're so excited to finally be able to share this league with the fans and let them know that the W League is kicking off in 2022 and there will be more opportunities for them to watch top level soccer and just really follow along with the women on this journey on the field, but also, join a supporter group or make new friends and be part of this community that surrounds women's soccer. And for me personally, I think the culture and the community around the women's game are one of the things that I love most about it. It's that spirit of inclusivity where everyone is united around this common love for the game and just being able to go kick a ball with friends or watch a game. And that's what's so exciting, is for us to provide more opportunities for the fans to engage that way and follow the sport.
You can feel the passion. I can't imagine anyone better to take this role and this initiative here in the women's space, and truly appreciate all of the work that you've been doing on this, Betsy. A lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to truly building something in the right way from the ground up. So want to make sure that you're getting your nod and due diligence and everything that you've been put in towards the W League, and truly looking forward to seeing this league blossom over the next few years and beyond.
Thanks, Kelsey. Appreciate that. And certainly, I want to give a huge shout out to our team and everyone that's been working in the women's space, both internally and also, the folks that we've worked with throughout the soccer ecosystem. We've been really blessed to have conversations with World Cup champions, current professionals, key executives, and just really everyone involved in the women's game. And we're so appreciative of their time and the efforts that they've taken to help us get this league off the ground. And we cannot be more excited to see the impact that it has and continue to share this journey with everyone throughout women's soccer.
We've teased some of the owners. We've teased some involvement at this point. So what do you say we get into revealing our first founding club? What do you say we get to our first founding member? I am so excited to be joined by Queenssborough FC's head coach and sporting director, Joseph Gombau. Joseph, thank you for taking the time to chat today. Really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about joining the USL W League.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation, and we are so happy to be here and be part of this big project.
Absolutely. So as you look to enter the championship next year, which is an exciting venture in itself, what does it mean for the club to have both now a men's and women's team compete in inaugural seasons in 2022?
Yeah, exciting moment for all of us to build a new club and to have both teams, women and men's starting on 2022. And we are working so hard to prepare everything. Also, we are building a new stadium, and it's something that I think that will be very nice for the people in Queens and in New York. And we are just working hard to try to start very strong on January. That is the moment that the teams will start to training.
It's amazing. What excites you most about being able to bring a W League team to Queenssborough?
A lot. The most is that to bring the opportunity to all the girls and women that are playing soccer in Queens and in New York and in the other boroughs close to Queens, that to bring this opportunity to play with us, to join a team, and why not to develop them and to go to the next step, that to be professionals. As everybody knows, US is the country that more attract to the girls to play football, and the national team is the most strong team in the world, and this makes that a lot of girls have passion. I have even a daughter that is playing also, which is something very nice, and yeah, to bring this flavor to Queens, and try that the people of Queens be proud of us for both teams, because we are bringing the same opportunities to the kids, to the girls, to the boys, and to the women and to the men. No, this is the idea of the club, and to make everybody everybody can be part of our project.
You talk about that pathway and kind of making sure that there's opportunities across the board. How will you and Queenssborough FC be creating a new pathway for the women's side of the game? And how does that really exemplify the equality for both boys and girls in the Queens community?
Yes, we are working now, starting all the project. We start with a team, that under 19 team in the USL Academy League. For boys, and the boys that have play better will jump to the first team in 2022, and now we are trying to create and reply exactly the same for the women's team, and we will start. We will do tryouts, and we will open this window for all the girls that play soccer in Queens, and they want to come and join us. We will do tryouts, and we will select the best players that we found, and we will create this team, and this is the idea, to bring these opportunities, and also to make that the people enjoy and join our club. That is a new club, and we need to make noise, and we need to make that the people of the area be proud of us.
You talk about the academy and the senior men's team, and of course now the W League team. How do you see the women's side kind of fitting into the overall strategy at Queenssborough FC? I mean, you've already touched on the fact of sharing facilities, so I think that's a big one, right?
Yeah, of course. We are a club that we are new. As a new club, we are creating everything now. And also the idea is to create our own philosophy and our own style of play, which we have very clear what we want to do. And men's and women's team will be the same. Men's and women's team will work the same. And we want that both teams play the same style and have the same things. The women's teams will train in the same facilities that the men's team, and we will have everything in the same page, because as a new club that we are, we want to create something unique, and starting at the same time, women's team and men's team, I think is something that bring a lot of exciting to all the people that we are involved in the club, and for sure that the people from Queens and from the area will appreciate this effort that we are doing as a club to make both teams, and I would like to see that the people support both teams, and as you know, the soccer in US is growing and growing and growing in both sides, women's and men's. And as a new club that we are, this is our aim, and our challenge to bring the people to the stadium, to make that the people know us, to make that the people come to the stadium and enjoy the experience and want to come back again in the next game, and to make that the people support us and have members. And this is the idea. And I think that having these both teams will be room for everybody to come on the stadium and share about the Queenssborough.
So many exciting things headed our way in 2022. Queenssborough FC, one of them, and now officially the first founding member of the USL W League. Joseph, thank you for your time today, and really excited to see what's ahead.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you very much.
I am so pleased to welcome Nitra Van Tassel, owner of South Georgia Tormenta, to the show today. Nitra is one of the few female owners we have in the USL ecosystem, so it's only fitting Nitra steers this ship. Nitra, appreciate you making the time, and congratulations on the historic announcement today.
Oh gosh, Kelsey, thank you so much for having me. We are so excited to be here.
We're ready, and I know we've got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, Tormenta FC, one of the clubs to join our W League announcement today. Why is there a need for a women's team in the Statesboro community?
Well, in our community, and actually our entire area that we have around us here in South Georgia, is really lacking in the ability to have a platform for female athletes to really showcase what it is that they can do. And until this time, our youth athletes are coming up and they're having to go to different areas outside of our area to find some competition that suits them and that they can show what they have. And so having now a place for our female athletes to do that here and to come home and either grow in our academy and leave and play in college and come back, or just to showcase anyone in the area that may not even have been in our academy before, but to be able to have that and for them to come here, that is truly an exciting time for us.
Obviously, you have quite a structure already built at Tormenta FC. How do you envision this formation of the pre-professional women's team? What is that going to add to that overall structure of Tormenta?
Right. So the structure here that we already have in place. So we have 11 years of history with the Youth Academy. And then we added in 2015 was the announcement of our PDL team at the time. So the League Two now started playing in 2016. And then we announced the League One team, professional team, again after that. So we have that ability now to have that entire flow of very young with the little 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, and the organization that we have there and the fabulous program we have that's developmentally appropriate for them all the way up through middle school, high school, and then again going off to college. So bringing those athletes back now and on the female side is, for me, I just sometimes can't even put into words. So we have the men covered. We have a great group of young men that come in both our League Two and League One, not only super talented, but amazing young men personally. And so to be able to have some young ladies and females to come back and to come in, we have such talent in our youth academy with females that have gone off and played and or are playing at Vanderbilt or South Carolina, University of South Carolina, College of Charleston, Florida. I mean, the list goes on. So we have talent, and then to see them go off and then they're having to seek elsewhere to find that. So be able now to come back and have a place where they can perform and show themselves so that eventually at some point they can go off and become a pro. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
And it has to be really special for, you mentioned that these, 5, 6, 7-year-olds who are just starting to develop the love for the game, for them to see these females playing at high level universities like Vanderbilt, you mentioned, that is something that's going to be really special for your community, no?
Yes. So I have a wonderful story, actually brings me chills kind of thinking about it. There's a young lady in particular who came to one of our press conferences now because of COVID was before, and she actually, and I honestly don't even remember how old she was. I'm guessing 6 or 7. I know who she is, and I see her at all of our games. So I need to make a connection again with her on that specific story because we say hello and chat every time we have a game. But she literally came up at the time. My husband and I were at the conference, and Darren had just spoken, and she came over and announced herself and put her hand out and shook our hand and said, "I'm going to be your first female Tormenta player." And so that excitement that was a couple of years ago, here she said that, and knowing what we kind of know in the background that that's somewhere we wanted to go at that point in time was not even available. So now to bring that to fruition, just super exciting.
I mean, that shows you right there the impact that this is going to make in your community.
Yes, absolutely.
I cannot think of a better way to end our conversation than that. Obviously, you have a lot of fans already, and the work that you've been doing in the background to bring this to life is obviously well worth it. And I can imagine, at least after that story, that there are going to be quite a few young ladies out there that are going to be aspiring to these heights. So that's exciting.
So. Thank you very much. We hope so, for sure.
Nitra, thanks for joining me today, and welcome officially to the USL W League.
Thank you very much.
Let's turn our sights now to Greenville Triumph SC, as I am thrilled to be joined by Chairman and owner Joe Irwin and Vice Chairman Doug Irwin to the show today. Guys, thanks for stopping by.
Great to be here, Kelsey. Thanks for having us.
It's a big day for the league, so really appreciate you guys making the time. And it's so exciting as a whole for the women's soccer landscape. Joe, what does the creation of the W League team in Greenville mean for young women who are looking to pursue careers in soccer?
Yeah, we think it's huge, Kelsey. We've got so many girls and women who have played or are playing in the upstate of South Carolina. This area of the country over indexes, I think, Doug, in play among girls and women over most places in the United States. So we think this announcement is huge for the area generally, but especially for girls and women.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, in gender equality, we talk about that as being one of the 3 pillars for the USL W League. Doug, how are you guys going to work to kind of create an environment under the Greenville platform that is equitable for both the men's and women's team?
For us, a lot of it ties back into one of the big things I know my dad spent most of his time on lately is the stadium project, and having both teams play under one roof at Legacy Early College in the near future, and then hopefully ultimately in the very near future, getting to play in a permanent stadium. So to afford that opportunity, even though initially we're coming into the W League, looking at it more as a League Two type team, with a lot of college play that we want to highlight in the area. To give girls and women the opportunity to play in the stadium that the men's team's playing, and to play in that professional environment with a couple thousand fans is hugely important to us.
Yeah, and it really speaks to our philosophy, even before this, Kelsey, about gender equity. It's something we feel very, very passionate about. I think girls and women deserve the exact same chances as boys and men. And so when we learned that USL was working on this initiative, we were like, all right, this is a great opportunity because we believe in the mission of USL Soccer. So to announce a women's side in USL really has us very excited.
And it's kind of fun for us too. This was about a month ago. We were doing a retreat, and with all the players and staff, and looking at our current front office staff, over half of our front office staff are women. A lot of whom I think
played.
3 or 4 played at elite high school level or college level. So it's kind of fun to go around and see how the women's game at different high levels has touched just our front office. And it's really exciting for us. And I know a lot of people on our staff are really excited about the initiative because it really hits close to home for them.
Yeah. In fact, if we ever play a co-ed game with our staff, we'll kick people's butts. I mean, we're good.
For sure.
It's obvious the W League is such a natural fit for you guys. There's no question there. And I think what's cool when you touch on the stadium project and everything that you guys are working to develop there, you have a cool opportunity of having the women's league and your men's team begin play at the same time in that stadium, which is unique and special, I think, to Greenville.
Well, absolutely, Kelsey. And it also affects the way we're planning the stadium. Because, when you approach gender equity, you have to really be intentional about it. I don't think you get there accidentally. So to build the stadium out, and look, we got a long way to go on that. But in the planning, we're talking about separate locker rooms, and we're not going to have some of those debacles we've seen in the past where, the girls and the women get inferior space and inferior tools. We think that's wrong. And now we've got to prove it, of course, but it's nice to be in the planning stage of something to where you can affect true equity.
So many plans coming out of Greenville. You guys have me all excited, and I feel like
I know.
I were 5, 6, 7 years younger, this would really start to turn the wheel for me a little bit. Joe, when you talk about leadership in the women's side of the game, especially for Greenville, what can people expect from you and your club?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we want to pursue is an expansion of the staff. And we want to look, for example, look, there are a lot of women's teams, women's sports that are led by men. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think as we build out our girls and women's program, we want to look for leadership, from women. And we want girls to have some aspirational figure in their soccer playing lives. So our first look at coaching will be to women. And we'd like to find, a woman or women who have ties to the area and who are making a difference already in the sport of soccer in the Carolinas, or certainly in the region, Doug, I think.
Definitely. Well, and again, it speaks back to the kind of almost happy accident of our staff already being more than half female, but that's something that, certainly isn't going to stop with this. We want to build on that. And some of these people that we've had on our staff for a couple of years that have certainly grown into more senior roles, we already feel like we have great representation and leadership from females, and we're excited to be able to offer more opportunities there as we layer on staff for the women's team.
Well, let's be honest, Kelsey. His mom would beat my tail if we didn't have plenty of women in leadership.
Holding each other accountable in the Irwin family. That's what we're doing.
Right. Oh, believe me, there's plenty of accountability.
Us both being held accountable by her, I think, is probably more accurate than holding each other accountable.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that. So let's paint this picture. So a year from now, you'll have a solidified roster as well as a full coaching staff for your women's team. First time ever, a historic year.
Oh, man.
What
do you hope to accomplish in that first year of play?
I don't know that we want to set any benchmark goals like win a championship, but I think, yeah, I know. And I say this not to pat ourselves on the back, but we hold things to a pretty high standard, and we feel like, the reputation that we've worked very hard for around the league is that we're one of the flag bearers for League One, and we want to be the same thing for the W League, both on and off the field. And, I think, again, we're not under the illusion that we're necessarily going to win a championship, but we expect to be competitive from day one. And we were able to do that on the men's side, and I think that's a fair standard to hold the team to. And the other thing, we just want to have fun, and we want to bring people together and get a bunch of people in the stadium to have fun watching women's soccer. And I think the game day environment is so important to us, and we talk about this a lot when we talk about how we go to sell tickets, and we say, we don't feel like the problem is getting people back. If we can get you there, we know you're going to come back. So from a fan perspective, it's just going to be about educating the fan base, because we think when we get you there for a W League game, you're going to have a great time and want to come back.
Absolutely. And, I'll add to what you said, Doug. Around here, Kelsey, we talk a lot about, our mission. And our mission has never been to win championships, but we always will be best that we can be. And our mission is to create and spread joy. And a W League and an entry from Greenville in the upstate in the W League will create and spread more joy. That's just our approach to everything we do.
Without question, such a big day for the women's game. And of course, Greenville's involvement in the historical launch. Joe, Doug, I really appreciate your guys' time and insight today. This has been great, and you have me really excited for what's to come.
Yeah, girls rule.
Yes, we do.
All right. See you, Kelsey.
I am so excited to now be joined by Courtney Carroll Levinson, the founder of Women in Soccer. And Courtney, I want to give you the chance out of the gate here to give everyone a look inside of what women's soccer is and what you guys stand for.
Women in Soccer is a network, a growing community of women and allies who are connected by their love of soccer. And we have created a digital infrastructure that builds bridges for women to participate in and work in and around the game. And it's a space for everyone.
Well, and one thing that Women in Soccer references frequently is the idea that the organization's a growing community, right? And it's a community of allies and women united by the spirit of soccer. So why is your commitment to inclusivity so important to your organization and then to the women's game in general?
Well, we lose a lot of potential icons when they don't see themselves in the game as children represented on the field inside of the national team. And we are now in a space where that's recognized. And bridges are built and being built to communities so that we can have a national team that represents the reality of who plays in America.
That's amazing. So in your minds, by partnering then with the W League, what are you guys hoping to accomplish?
We're hoping to accomplish so much because we're doing it together. And really the W League's recognition of soccer's need for more inclusivity, and coming to women in soccer to help come up with solutions. And the partnership really represents the league's understanding that soccer in America can't grow unless systemic racism, gender bias, and homophobia are addressed. And the difficult conversations in and around soccer and how it's how people access it in this country is uncomfortable, but we're ready. And we have the tools, and we are surrounded by a real growing field of women and allies working in the space to help clubs and organizations understand how they can create a more inclusive space for people to enter and thrive and feel like they can develop and grow as people, and that they have a network ready to tap into professional development opportunities post-playing, connecting with leaders such as Lizzie Seedhouse in and around the space to become, to ask her questions, right? And so really like a LinkedIn for soccer, that's a little bit more fun, right? Because we really want the fans to know that this competitive level of soccer is growing, and it's dynamic, it's fun, and it's community built. And the models that are being created in the USL, creating that in the W League can lead to so much opportunity, social opportunity, economic opportunity. And that's the advancement of the game, and playing opportunities. Right now, after college, there are not a lot of opportunities if you are not immediately entering the NWSL. Having a league that is in an invested, stable position to create a pool of players that helps support the competitive level of the NWSL in America, we have a true pyramid happening. And that pyramid can happen, is only going to be healthy if this level of the pyramid is invested in, built out with this inclusive lens that is community driven. We can really have success in changing the landscape for women working in and around the game in America. More referee representation, more head coaches inside of the W League that then become a pathway to the NWSL, that then become a pathway to the national team. Now we're really talking about a coach's experience of going from youth competitive, maybe like a young adult, and then really like adult coaching. That has to be an option for female coaches in this country. They're all getting licenses. They're all overqualified. They need a network to support them as they rise. And this partnership secures the pathways to make that happen.
I think what's interesting too, one, we've got to acknowledge the LinkedIn for Soccer tagline because that's fantastic. But
I hope I don't get sued.
but elsewhere, the women's soccer, they're also providing allyship workshops, right? And I think that's an important note here that I want to give you a chance to talk about, because this is already being provided to the existing men's league. So it's only going to build from here.
Absolutely. The USL is demonstrating incredible allyship, and we could not be more excited about how it continues to grow. And the number of women working in and around the USL is tremendous. There's a very large representation of female leaders within this league that I think have made it what it is, at least influenced where the USL is at. It is dynamic, it's growing, it's competitive, and it's making money. And so to take that model into this realm, but to also bring to the USL these cultural components, right? Anti-discrimination workshops and team building for teams that, we are creating these leagues that are showcasing international players, right? So having organizations that can come in and support teams, franchises, and all of these infrastructures with workshops that really get to the heart of what kind of culture are you building in your franchise? And how is it working for the community? And how is it, and what are you doing to ensure that it is maintained as a safe space? And really kind of solidifying the professionalism that needs to exist within these organizations to increase investment and also increase representation for who works inside of them.
There is so much already underway with everything that women's soccer is doing in this space, and the work's already begun with this partnership with the USL and women's soccer, which I think is amazing. You guys just hosted a career fair and with senior members, and having this, workshops on the realities of management, interviewing 101, things like that. So as we look ahead into the rest of 2021 and 2022, are there any other activations that we can expect from this partnership?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And first of all, shout out to Rachel Buskar and Lizzie Seedhouse for joining our career panel. And yes, we are really, Women in Soccer, the network, is committed to, we want USL to source candidates from this network. Like, this is a place where we want to push the incredible amount of opportunities that exist inside of USL corporate and inside of USL franchises that include on and off the field opportunities. So future physical therapists, right? Like, come on, dive in, go and work for one of these franchises and increase representation in this space, right? And so yes, as we're looking forward to this partnership with the W League as well, activating professional development workshops, like community career fairs. Now that we are coming out of solely relying on our digital space, right? What kind of fun activations can we do in the event space for our different markets, right? To make it unique for those markets and what is important to them. Is it a coaching networking conference? Is it workshops? Is it speaker series? So many ways to really grow what the W League is doing with the franchises so that they can become stable in their communities. And that's one of the most exciting things. And in addition to celebrating the partnership, we are celebrating the women who are working in around this space in the different nonprofits with by celebrating our partnership, we are doing a merchandise launch that will go to that will go to a fund, and we're going to hold a pitch contest for a nonprofit to come and pitch their idea for why they should receive this investment. And we look at it as a two-prong opportunity for up and coming rising NGOs to get on this, to get some spotlight, to get some investment going, to get going. And in doing that, they've got to create a deck, and that's also a professional development exercise. So how do you want to position yourself to, receive this money? And as the true, community that we're building with the W League and the USL, women in soccer league representatives will, collaborate on which program to give it to. And it really does kind of come as a testament to, we want to move this momentum or movement forward together. And there's so many rising NGOs and young and entrepreneurs working in and around this space. And it's an exciting time to spotlight that rising population and get them to stay in the game, to stay doing what they're doing, and connect them to other NGOs that have been successful in the space and can give them fundraising tips, can help connect them with a sponsor. Just, it's a way to come into the network and see what's possible.
Man, I can feel the passion through the screen, Courtney. You guys are doing fantastic work over there at Women in Soccer, and really excited to have you on board with the USL and the USL W League. So many exciting things ahead. I really appreciate your time and looking forward to all to come in the next few years.
Wonderful, Kelsey. Thank you so much.
I am so excited to welcome in our next founding member today, Caw Valley FC President and General Manager Marcus Dudley joins me today. Marcus, congratulations on the exciting announcement.
Oh, thanks so much for having us. We're super excited to be involved.
Caw Valley has a player development structure that spans from 3 to 19 years old, which is massive. What does creating a W League team mean for the young women that currently already play in that organization?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. I mean, we're really excited to announce this to them. I think on the men's side, especially because we have this affiliation with Sporting Kansas City, there's been a lot of mentoring and modeling that we've been able to provide on the male side of our organization. And we felt for some time that we've kind of been missing that piece for half of our membership. So I think from a player perspective, I think it'll be incredible. It'll give them the opportunity to see quality soccer and quality people, on a regular basis, which is not something that they have had access to or a lot of opportunity to see other than the local colleges. So we're super excited to be able to do that. The other thing that I've really been excited about in terms of the USLW is really the three pillars that it's based upon: opportunity, gender equity, and career development. And those are things that we focused a lot with our USL 2 side on, not just with the players and their pathway, but we're really excited to get more women involved on the career development side as well.
Talk to me a little bit about this cradle to contract concept that I've been told a little bit about, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag here, but I figure you're the one to kind of let the people know what's being ideated here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we have players that start playing as early as 3 years of age. And they typically play up into high school on the youth side, and some of them go off to college, and we haven't had really the opportunity to provide many services for those players once they leave our youth club. When we added the USL 2 men's team, that provided us an opportunity to create another developmental pathway. Some of those individuals have already gone on to sign contracts within the USL 1 and Pro. Some of those we're hoping will eventually sign with the pro team at SKC, and we know that we've got a couple players on the watch list already for that group of people. So the term cradle to contract really refers to we get them as early as possible, and we hope that we can create an opportunity for them to do this as a professional career at some point. And as I mentioned before, we're really excited about the opportunity to provide almost the identical pathway for female players in our club as well.
I mean, I feel like it gives these young ladies who are just starting to learn the technical aspect of the game something to look forward to. And I think largely being able to see that this is possible to have a career in this space. And, you can't put a price tag on something like that.
No, I absolutely agree. I have a daughter who's a player as well. I know how much it's meant to her. To have other female athletes involved in her life and strong, independent female leaders. As I kind of mentioned before, I think part of it is on the field and on the pitch, and how can we provide additional opportunities and modeling in that space. But I think there's a whole nother space that is really about how do you help male and female prepare for the game, prepare for their careers after the game, after the pitch. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities to provide more opportunities to be involved with the game. And having a USL 2 and a USL W team allows us to create some professional pathways for both genders, quite frankly.
Not only do we have the chance to talk to Marcus today, but we are fortunate enough to be joined by the president of the board of directors for Sporting Kaw Valley, Tanya Sieber. Tanya, congrats on this big day.
Thank you. We're so excited.
The Kaw Valley community and Lawrence has shown strong interest and desire for a women's team in the area. What will that moment be like for your community when they finally see all of this come to fruition?
They don't even realize how big and how much meaning this will have for them. I think it's going to unfold in surprising ways over the next few years. But Lawrence in general is a community that is hungry for action steps in terms of inclusivity and gender equity. We are not a town that pays lip service to these concepts. We are a town that traditionally has been on the leading edge of these movements, and I think that there will be overwhelming support for our adding this to our program, this level to our program.
Do you see your stay in this community in general being kind of a trailblazer for what we're seeing here with the W League and involving more women in this industry professionally and on the pitch?
Absolutely. I think some of the ways that Marcus is leading our organization in the direction that he and the board are taking this club naturally open us to this kind of opportunity. And, he's brought many women on board in leadership positions in our organization, which in my experience is fairly rare in the world of soccer. It's still quite a male-dominated sport in many ways, not just players, but also club administration and leadership. And that's at the Major League Soccer level and right on down, to soccer and rec soccer. And our organization has really turned that model upside down. And we have, 2/3 of our full-time office leadership are women. And of our interns that are helping to manage our USL 2 program, the vast majority, I think there are 2 men and the rest are women. And, we didn't necessarily aim to put more women in those spots than men. We just had more fantastic, competent, qualified, capable women apply for these positions. And it shows me that that women are interested in sports management. They are interested in these career opportunities, and there just aren't enough opportunities available for them.
Wow.
So this is part of our mission, is to help create those opportunities. And then our young players, our young female players, see themselves reflected, not just in our club leadership, but soon they will see themselves reflected in our semi-pro programming.
The big picture really coming together for your organization. I'm sure that has to make you feel so fulfilled. And I think one unique aspect of Kaw Valley's future W League offering is that both teams will be playing under the existing brand. So in what other ways will, you know, your organization create equity between the men's and women's teams?
Well, we have been very fortunate to have forged a relationship with Sporting Kansas City. Our club was actually the first affiliate organization of what is now a thriving affiliate club network for Sporting Kansas City. And, you know, that brand and the Sporting Academy, the USL team that plays under Sporting, that brand has been entirely male from its inception. And, you know, it is what it is, and that's okay. But our introducing a USL women's team under that same branding umbrella, I feel like we are actually taking that brand to a new level and to the next step that it wasn't going to take itself. So that feels powerful, and that feels, I'm so excited to be a part of that. I feel like we are the ones who are paving the way to opening the brand to include all of our young players, men and women.
The exciting news just continues today. The USL W League is excited to reveal another founding member. I'm thrilled to welcome President and General Manager of the Chattanooga Red Wolves, Sean McDaniel, and the General Manager of the Lady Red Wolves, Gretchen Hamill. Sean, Gretchen, congrats on a really exciting day. And for the soccer landscape in general, we're excited to have you.
Oh, we're excited having us.
Yep. Thank you. We're excited too.
Gretchen, one of the main pillars of the W League is creating an opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer. This is something that Chattanooga's already exemplified through the affiliation with the Lady Red Wolves. However, looking ahead, how will the creation of a women's team under the Chattanooga brand serve to kind of further those opportunities being created for women in soccer?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, one of our missions, one of our goals with the Chattanooga Red Wolves is to create the best opportunities for soccer players in our community nationwide, just to continue growing as a brand, is to just naturally go into that path to pro process for our women, and we're excited about doing that.
Sean, your organization's currently in the process of building a soccer-specific stadium, which when soccer fans hear that, they go wild, rightfully so. And that's going to serve as the permanent home of Chattanooga Red Bulls FC. What are your plans for the stadium as it relates to the future women's team?
Well, I think what's most important is if we're going to showcase professional soccer in Chattanooga, it should be demonstrated and presented in the best possible means that we have, and that happens to be CHI Memorial Stadium. So certainly as the men and the first team are concerned, as we show our fans what professional soccer looks like. It isn't just about the game on the field, it's about the entire game day environment, particularly to the sport of soccer. And so now with the addition of the women, the pinnacle for, young ladies to play soccer at the highest possible level should also be presented and demonstrated on the best possible in the best possible environment there is, and that's CHI Memorial Stadium. So being able to continue to build out the brand, not just for men and women, but for the entire city, and make this such an incredible game day environment for boys and girls to aspire to, is exactly why we built the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Sean, the Red Wolves have already established some strong women leadership, such as Gretchen, in the front office. What are your plans for furthering that narrative, both on and off the field, for your technical staff and in the front office?
I think what's most important is that we build from 8-year-olds all the way up, and we show that through our academy. We have a wonderful youth academy with female coaches, obviously young girls and young ladies who not only just play to play, but play with a purpose and the desire for them to succeed on the field, so that they can win games and keep advancing themselves career-wise. We also have a path to pro within the front office. The path to pro is not just about what happens on the field, it happens off the field too. Our merchandise leader is a young lady from Memphis, our game day manager, young lady. We have a female staff that goes hand in hand with exactly what we do on the field, and it mirrors itself off the field as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to kind of showcase that it's not just an on the field initiative. A lot of people are going to buy merch or, going to talk partnerships, and to have a female presence there, I think really showcases how committed you guys are to the initiative of, the USL W League as a whole.
Yeah, and I think, again, with Gretchen sitting right here with me, it's beyond men and women. It's about building something special where all are welcome. And that's been the principles of not just the Chattanooga Red Wolves, but the USL. And so it mirrors and matches our belief system. And again, we look beyond just, the person. We're looking for an entire organizational flow that, again, all are welcome. We want people to succeed here, regardless of what they look like, things they believe. We're here in the fellowship of football, and that's what we're doing.
Gretchen, outside of your job as the GM of the Lady Red Wolves, you perhaps have an even more important job as a mother to two young ladies. What does the creation of the W League in Chattanooga mean to young women like your daughters and in the community as a whole?
I think it sends a message to the young females, especially, and my daughters, so they're not soccer players necessarily, they're volleyball players, but that their soccer path, for me, when I was going through soccer, and then the opportunities for me pretty much stopped after I played in college. And so now it's like females have an opportunity to continue playing at a higher level, and to keep continuing to do something that they love to do. So the opportunities, like Sean said, are just endless. Not just, obviously, we are all here because we love soccer so much, just the community and what it just brings to us. We love the game, we love the sport, we love the community and the environment, but as a whole, the product and what it's able to create, we're excited about that. And for these young athletes, we're creating role models in the players that we have. We're creating opportunities for these girls that haven't always been there. For even someone as young as I am, it wasn't there. When I was their age. And so I'm happy to be able to be a part of this and to create these opportunities for these young soccer players, that they have they have an opportunity to go as far as they want to go, and continue that path and beyond, and to create whatever that may lead to. And so, yeah.
That's exciting and inspiring. Gretchen, Sean, Gretchen, thank you both for taking the time today, and really excited to see Chattanooga be a part of this historic announcement and all to come here in the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
In collaboration with Talisman & Co., the W League has dropped its first official merch collab featuring 2 W League shirts and 1 W League cap. With a limited amount of inventory available, be sure to head over to our website at uslwleague.com to secure your one-of-a-kind W League merch. In addition, 100% of the proceeds will benefit the Women in Soccer pitch contest with USL. Women in Soccer founder Courtney Carroll Levinson is here to give you the full scoop on the WIS pitch contest.
100% of proceeds will be dedicated to supporting the Women in Soccer pitch contest with the USL, which will provide a platform for women-led business initiatives to pitch their ideas and receive funding to further their impact on the game and their communities. So get your decks ready and come and show us your pitch.
The USL Championship theme continues now as we're ready to unveil the next member of the USL W League, Hartford Athletic. I'm now joined by Chairman and CEO of Hartford Athletic, Bruce Mandel. Bruce, congrats on an exciting day and appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, this is awesome to be here, Kelsey. This is so great. It's an exciting announcement for the USL. We're very proud to be part of, to be a founding member.
We're thrilled to have you. Bruce, when you first heard about the USL W League and the creation and ideation of it, what was it? Why was it important for Hartford to get involved?
Yeah, I mean, it's women's soccer in Connecticut is huge, but and I have 2 daughters, Madison and Isabella, who are great players and grew up through the process. So I really understood women's soccer. But the reason I started Hartford Athletic was to do something really big for our community and the greater Hartford and Connecticut community, and to do something broad, economically, socially, culturally. And when I heard that the W League was coming about, I said, wow, this is going to be great. It's another piece of the pie for us to be impactful in Connecticut. So the number one point there was really a community play, something broad for the community. The second piece is obviously gender equity. It's so critical, and everything we do, even as a club, even on the men's side, we're thinking about gender and other forms of equity. So this was a great opportunity to jump in and be a leader here and bring something to Connecticut. And I'm very happy the USL is supporting this.
Talk to me a little bit about the Changemakers series, because I know that's a big initiative for you guys. How does that kind of fit in? Let the people, I think, know a little bit about what you guys are working towards here.
Well, it's interesting because it started with a young woman, Allison Minette, who works for us, and she was a intern. And she was a superstar. And we love developing players. We love developing talent in our front office. And she started to move towards being in the sponsorship side. Then we started a foundation, the Green and Blue Foundation. And as we started that, Allison took over that and became a director of it. So she's continuing to develop. Then she brings forward this idea of Changemakers. And Changemakers' concept is that we identify powerful women in our community, and we kind of bring them to the forefront and allow people to kind of learn from them and grow from them and let them mentor other women and girls in our community. And we end up with a big night that's going to happen in the fall where everyone's going to come together. We're raising dollars for other charities and foundations, and kind of just bring to the forward great women in Greater Connecticut. And there's a bunch of them, and we want to grow even more of them.
It's such an exciting time for you to be a part of building a lot of opportunities for women in sport, or women just, in the professional space. How do you see giving women a path to being a professional through the USL W League?
Yeah, it's a great point, Kelsey, that we're working so hard on the men's side to create a pathway. And our director of strategy is Paul Buckle, and Luis Silva is our technical director. We're thinking about that every day. What's the pathway? So we start with our team and our affiliations at the pro level. We move down to USL 2 and have an affiliation there. We then move down to the USL Academy, and we're joining that this year, right? We have Academy contract players now. So we have that pathway. Then you think about the women's side, okay? We have nothing right now. Boom, we move in with the W League. Wow, all of a sudden we have the top amateur players in the nation who are going to be playing for us. Right away, with that as a catalyst, we are now opening our academy system on the women's side. So we're going to do U19 and U13. These are things that happen because the USL had the foresight to bring forward this W League. It has created a immediate catalyst for us to move down to the academy side. And the girls, and I call girls anything younger than college and women anything over. But the girls side are so excited because now they see, wow, there's going to be they're starting to hear rumors. We'll say there's going to be a W League out there. There's going to be something that we have to grow towards. And then we can move on to potentially the pro level or continue with our soccer path wherever it takes us. And so I just see this as a wonderful piece of the puzzle that the USL is really supporting. And now we can grow below it and hopefully at someday even go above it to the pro level.
And you've even now brought in a coach for the girls' academy side, correct?
I can tell you that as soon as the USL really makes this announcement, the phones are going to be ringing off the hook. Because especially on the girls' side, on the women's side, to have this opportunity to create this spot where these top players, okay, from college or even top high school players can go from a coaching standpoint, from a technical director standpoint, from a player standpoint, it's so exciting. It's something that the women deserve, and I'm really proud that working with USL that we can get this done. I'm fired up about it. Community's going to be fired about. And by the way, I hope all my USL owner friends, okay, jump on board too as this announcement come out. And I really believe on the flip side, from a sponsorship standpoint, it's phenomenal, right? Because now our sponsors can add additional assets and go for on the women's side as they do on the men's side. So this is a home run.
I've got chills. The passion is just it's flooding through your screen, and I can't think of a better person to have leading this charge. It's amazing, the opportunity I think that we're going to see in Hartford over the next few years for the women's game.
Oh, it's happening, and to play at Dillon Stadium, for women to be able to play there, okay, and girls to be able to have their games there. I mean, it's off the charts under the lights. In Connecticut, I'm serious. This is going to be huge, and we have amazing college programs in our area. University of Connecticut, predominant top 20. Quinnipiac, Yale is in the top 20. It just adds this kind of excitement, and yeah, I will be leading the charge, Kelsey. I promise that. Okay, we're going to get this thing done and done right.
You heard it here first, Bruce. I really appreciate your time, your passion, your energy, some really exciting initiatives building out of Hartford. And I think that you said yourself, you're really going to be leading this charge and setting an example for the USLW community. So I can't wait to see all this come to fruition for you over the next few years.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your great work. You really do an amazing job.
Thank you, Bruce.
Let's go. Let's go, women. Let's go, W League.
Let's go. The USL W League is also coming to our nation's capital. We are excited to introduce a team in Washington, D.C., led by the DC United ownership group. One of the most storied soccer franchises in the United States, DC United has been a trailblazer for women in the game, including the recent hirings of Danita Johnson as the team's president of business operations and Lucy Rushton as the team's general manager. We cannot wait to see the impact they will have for women and soccer in the DC area and look forward to sharing more details in the coming months. We are thrilled to have announced the first 7 clubs who will be competing in the USL W League inaugural season in 2022, and we're not done yet. Our next club is new to the USL family, joining us from the great state of Minnesota. At its core, the club is committed to our mission of gender equity and inclusivity, featuring a women majority owner paired with a unique element of community and supporter ownership. They'll reveal more about their identity this coming Sunday, so be sure to stay tuned to our social media channels as we welcome them to the W League. To close out today's show, I'm now joined by USL President Jake Edwards. Jake, what an exciting day for this organization. You've got to be buzzing.
It's a very exciting day as we launch the new league. So it's exciting to be with you. Thanks for having me, Kelsey.
Absolutely. I can't think of a better way to close out the show than the man himself. So let's get into a little bit of the ground roots idea, how this idea kind of came to fruition with the USL W League. Where did the idea to add a women's league to the USL's growing number of properties come from?
It came from our owners of USL clubs across the USL ecosystem have been talking to the league for some time now about the desire to bring a women's team to their platform, to have a women's football club as part of their organization. And so that's teams in Championship League One and League Two. So that's where it started. And we've put a lot of work into this over the last few years to get to this point. And so it's a very exciting day as we launch the league now, and we can give back to the clubs and the owners what they asked for and started this process.
What are the primary benefits then that the W League are going to provide to not only the fans, the players and beyond?
I think really it's opportunity to be involved in the women's game. Now, as we launch this league, we're expecting upwards of 30 founding clubs. And as you think about the number of playing opportunities, coaching opportunities to work in those clubs, that's about 750 or more new roles, new opportunities to play, coach and work in women's sports and women's football. So I think really it's a tremendous opportunity. That's certainly how I see this.
Yeah, I mean, not only are you creating opportunities on the pitch, but far beyond that, which I feel like it obviously goes into one of the main pillars here with the USL W League. So when you think about that big picture, what are some of the primary benefits that the W League is going to provide?
Well, I think, look, we're very excited as where it can go, the league. Right now, we're focused on the launch. We've got Betsy Hall, who we're thrilled to have on board to lead the operations of the league. And so I think really sky's the limit, right? We've got an ambitious group of clubs and owners that are becoming our founding members. There'll be more teams joining across the USL ecosystem. So I think you're going to see great quality football, great environments. A lot of our partners are going to be getting behind this in a big way. So again, I think we're very excited in this first phase to get launching, but really excited of where this is going to go over the next few years.
This isn't the first piece of history you've been a part of now with the USL, Jake. You've been a part of the rebrand a few years ago. You helped shape USL League One, and now you're launching another league. What excites you most about the USL W League?
As I said, we've got history with the W League. It's nice to see the brand come back. And, you know, it was a different time in the earlier, the first version of the W League to where our organization is now, and the kind of expertise we have, the quality we have, the folks that are going to be working on the W League, the partners, the media partners, the commercial partners, the level of the teams, the stadiums they're going to be playing in. So it's a very different environment now than it was about a decade ago when we were running the W League. And so we're very excited on this new iteration, and that we can bring all of that to bear to make sure this is just a first-class environment. Having launched a number of leagues now over the last few years, and certainly a number of clubs, significant number of clubs, really got a good handle on what's expected, what's needed, and what's working, and how to make this work. And I think we've really got the pieces in place now. And you're only limited by your ambition. And so I think we've got really great days ahead of us now for the W League.
Another piece to the puzzle of that USL organization. Really exciting day for the league as a whole. Really exciting for what's to come. Jake, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today and providing your insight. As always, it's a pleasure, and I'm really excited for what's to come.
Great stuff. Thanks, Kelsey.
That does it for the USL W League show. Thank you for tuning in. And a special thank you to all of our founding clubs and, of course, all of the USL employees behind the scenes who made today's announcement a reality. The USL W League is fully integrated across social media, so be sure to follow at USL W League on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for all of the latest announcements and news. And guys, that fun is not stopping today. We've got plenty more in store for you. USL Director of Women's Soccer Operations, Betsy Hall, is going live with U.S. Women's National Team forward Jessica McDonald at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on the USL W League's Instagram account. Head on over to at USL W League on Instagram to catch that live conversation. And then later this evening, Betsy's going to be joining USL All Access at 7 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr to talk all things USL W League. That's a wrap today. Signing off for the United Soccer League, I'm Kelsey Steele, officially welcoming the USL W League to the soccer universe.